Unless you've lived under a rock for 30 years, you've probably heard of Dave Ramsey and his 7 baby steps to building wealth. Dave is undoubtedly one of the titans in the personal finance industry. Still, if you're trying to get your finances in order and aren't sure if the $1,000 emergency fund in Dave's baby step number 1 is enough, this video is for you. Hi everyone. Welcome to another episode of 3 Minute Money. I'm Pat Zumbush, your YouTube CFP professional. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe and check out my other videos, as any ad revenue this channel receives is donated to financial literacy charities throughout America. In this video, I will let you know my thoughts on Dave Ramsey's $1,000 starter emergency fund, and I'll also give you some guidance on how to determine the right amount to have in your emergency fund. Let's get to it. Dave Ramsey is unquestionably one of the most well-known personal finance professionals. He has authored several New York Times best-selling books, helped thousands of people get out of debt, and has a nationally syndicated radio show. Dave is also known for his 7 baby steps, which he founded in the early 1990s, 1992 to be exact. The purpose of this video is to talk about the first baby step, which is to save $1,000 in a beginner emergency fund. According to Dave Ramsey, the $1,000 emergency fund is more about the momentum it helps build as people start their financial journey than the actual dollar amount. I think he's 100% correct on that fact. Many Americans live paycheck to paycheck, and research shows that most people can't afford a $400 emergency bill. So, all signs point to $1,000 being an adequate emergency fund. But the reality is that $1,000 is a blanket approach to personal finances. The key word here is personal. Let's go back in time to the year 1992. The 25th Olympic Games were in Barcelona. Mae Jemison became the first black woman to go into space. Bill Clinton was elected the 42nd president, and Dave Ramsey formed Ramsey's Solution, published his first book, Financial Peace, and the baby steps were born. Baby step 1 is to establish a $1,000 starter emergency fund. In 2022, Dave Ramsey has not adjusted baby step number 1 for inflation, so it's the same $1,000. Surely Dave didn't forget about inflation, though I believe he's still focusing on momentum and not the dollar amount. For perspective, in 1992, gas was $1.13 per gallon, and the median home price in Los Angeles was only about $214,000. Fast forward to 2022, gas is expected to average about $405 for the year, and the median price of a home in LA through June is about $860,000. We know real estate consistently outperforms general inflation rate. Still, you get the point that because of inflation, you would need a starter emergency fund of about $2,100 in 2022 to have the same protection and buying power as Dave recommended in 1992. Time for a quick pause. I want to be clear, I think there's much value in Dave Ramsey's teaching and baby steps, and the average American living paycheck to paycheck can find value in following his baby steps. I'm simply pointing out that inflation is real. Speaking of inflation, be sure to check out my video on inflation here. I'll also drop a link in the description below. Okay, back to your regularly scheduled programming. If you follow Dave's baby steps using a blanket approach for your starter emergency fund, I recommend bumping that $1,000 to at least $2,100 in 2022 and adjusting this amount each year for inflation. If you want to take a more personal approach to the amount you should have in your starter emergency fund, I recommend you use 1 month of fixed expenses. Think of expenses like your rent or mortgage payment, car loan payment, utilities, and groceries. Sadly, fixed costs don't include Netflix, Spotify, or Amazon Prime. I recommend 1 month of expenses as your starter emergency fund because it's tailored to your situation. For example, if you have rent payment of about $1,500 and other fixed expenses of about $1,200, you should have a starter emergency fund of $2,700. If you would lose your job, a $1,000 emergency starter fund using baby step number 1 would be insufficient, and so, frankly, would be a $2,100 starter emergency fund. There you have it. Those are my thoughts on Dave's $1,000 starter emergency fund and how I think you should approach determining the amount that you need. So, I'd love to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on a $1,000 emergency fund? I'm curious what you think. Just leave a comment below and I'll follow up. If you have enjoyed this video and thought it was valuable for teaching you more about personal finance, just hit the like button and please share the video with your friends and family. If you want more money tips, subscribe to the channel for new videos weekly. Thank you for letting me help you do wise things with your money.